Hey guys, we are live on YouTube. How about it? This is my first experience of YouTube Live. Maybe it's your first experience of YouTube Live as well. So anything can happen tonight. Anything will go wrong. Anything can go wrong. So let's see how it goes. So here we are on YouTube Live. Tonight what I'm going to do is I will share with you insights from this book, The $100 Startup. And what I want to do in the next 30 minutes is give you some key lessons from the $100 Startup. And then you can use those lessons, take them away today, and think about, as it says here, how to reinvent the way you make a living, do what you love, and create a new future. So how about it? I'm getting used to the layout here. So if you're new with YouTube Live, then you and me together getting used to the layout. Over this side, we've got a chat box over here somewhere. I can't work it out. On your right hand side, there's a chat box. Find the chat box, say hi in the chat box. I see a few of you have already found it. You know, just say hi, just so I know who's here today. It'd be fantastic to know who's here. So, you know, I feel like I'm actually talking to you directly. I'm not talking to some random audience. I know you guys anyway, so it's great for you to say hi. Just let me know you're here. Great that you're here, showing some support, and fantastic that I can share these next 30 minutes with you, because I've got something really that I want to share with you. Obviously, you're familiar with this book already. If you're not familiar with this book, great book. I want to share with you the key lessons today. And yeah, so here we are. What we'll do, 30 minutes on the book, maybe less if I can get through this, if I can work my way through YouTube Live, less than 30 minutes. And then we'll have a Q&A session, because the great thing about YouTube Live is there's a chat box, which you've already found, so you can ask me questions. So let's use today, this session, to talk about some of the ideas in the $100 Startup, plus also how we can get you to grow your business. So ask any questions that you have about growing your business, anything related to anything that I've talked about today. So I'm really excited. This is the first time. Let's just see how it goes. So be kind, be gentle if this all goes horribly wrong. Where it goes from here, we don't know, but let's just give it a go. So we're here today. We're here together. Let's use this time to learn a bit about the ideas in the $100 Startup, also to share some of the journey. So, you know, we are all entrepreneurs here together. So it'd be great to hear about some of your stories and share with me some of your questions that you have about your business and also this book. So let's get started. Let's kick off. Oh, by the way, so here's the thing, right? A couple of things today, right? Let me just tell you. Firstly, this is the first time on YouTube Live, so I don't know what the hell's going on sometimes. So forgive me if I do something wrong. It's because it's the first time I've ever done this. It's pretty new software, right? So it's all kind of new for us. The second thing, there's a weird thing that comes across the screen and says Wirecast on it, which is the software that I'm trialing. As you see, it might come up in a minute and just says this is a trial. Forget that. Don't worry about it. That will go. When I actually upgrade and get the paid software, then that will go away. But for now, we're just trialing it out. Don't worry about it. It's not something weird on your browser. And the other thing, there's a delay. There's like a 15, 20-second delay on YouTube. So, you know, if I don't answer your question straight away, it's because I haven't actually received it yet. So there's a little bit of a delay. So forgive me for that. That can't be changed. That's just how YouTube is, all right? So let's do what we can. Let's do it, man. Let's do this presentation. I've got some ideas that I want to share with you today. I want to, you know, hit you with some ideas from the book. I want you to think about this whole idea of building a micro business, and, you know, leave you with some questions to think about. So let's do it. Let's get started. So here we are, the $100 Startup. So what I want to do today is share 3 lessons from this book, a book by Chris Guillebeau. Great book. Really important book, I think, in our sphere, which is you know, you and me, we're here, we're entrepreneurs, but we probably don't want to do the Silicon Valley thing. We probably don't want to borrow millions of dollars and build a business, but we want to have a successful business. So this book really, you know, is written for people like us. So it's a different model. It's not about borrowing lots of money or getting lots of investment and selling the business. It's about creating a lifestyle business. So I want to share what that is and how to do it today with you. And at the end, I'll give you a link so you can download the presentation because I want you to have this presentation that you can take away and think about the notes from today. Because, see this presentation today, but go away and review the PDF, the file, so you can really, keep that momentum going with your learning, because it's so important that, when you learn something, to keep going, to keep that momentum going. So that's what I want to do. Share with you the presentation PDF at the end. Yeah, and so, help other entrepreneurs as well. You discovered this because, maybe you came across something that I shared on YouTube or my email newsletter. So, if you can help other entrepreneurs as well, that'd be great. So like, comment, or share would be fantastic. You can do that here right on YouTube. You can like the video, you can share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, because there's much more coming up. I'll be doing these. Hopefully, if this works today, I'm going to do this every week. How about that? That's going to be a lot of fun, right? And it'd be great to see familiar faces come back every week, because then we can share that whole entrepreneurial journey together. So let's talk about this guy here. This is Chris Guillebeau, this man here. Now, let me tell you about him and why he wrote this book. So Chris Guillebeau traveled 193 countries in the world. Now, there are 193 countries in the world. So he went out and traveled every country in the world, and he kept a blog which had a massive following, and he wrote a book which is called The Art of Nonconformity. And in his travels, he met lots of entrepreneurs. He met lots of people doing different things. They weren't doing the Silicon Valley thing. He was doing what he calls the lifestyle entrepreneur, or the micro business. So he found a lot of people making really good money doing what they love. And that's why we're here today, right? That is why we're here today. We're here today because that's what we want to do. We want to make good money doing that, exactly what we love. So he wrote a book about it. He put lots of case study evidence in there. And I want to share some of that with you today. Some of the key lessons, what he learned in traveling around the world and meeting all these entrepreneurs, and how they became successful. This is a lifestyle which has impacted me as well. If you know a little bit about my story, you've probably heard it already. A few years ago, I sold a business and I traveled the world for 3 years with my family. I wasn't interested in doing the Silicon Valley thing. I was interested in seeing the world, interested in really experiencing life. Life is only once, man. Life is an adventure, and business is an adventure. And, if you can create a business where you can have that kind of lifestyle, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And this is what it's about today. This is what I learned. I was able to do this. I think everybody here today is able to do this as well. Create a business that allows you to have the kind of lifestyle that you want. You don't have to travel the world, but you need choice. And that's what today is about, choice. And that's what the $100 startup is about, choice, right? So a lot of what I've learned, I put into this new course, which I want to tell you about at the end today, the Entrepreneur Upgrade. I won't talk about it now because we're going to go and talk about the book, but at the end, I'll show you a little bit about this course. Some of you have signed up for it already. That's fantastic. Some of you have started the course. So we'll talk a little bit about that at the end. So here's a course which I'm launching. But for now, let's get into the $100 startup. So we're ready to kick off. Just as we kick off, let me just get rid of that screen there.
This is a demonstration.
Getting used to the controls here, guys. We're back in. So, the key message that I want to share with you today is this. You don't have to live your life the way other people expect you to. And this is so important, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you're already a rebel. You're already out there doing stuff which people don't understand. And the key is about expectations, right? If you start a business, you're going to have people around you who don't understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. They've grown up with a different kind of worldview to you. They don't know risk like you do. They don't understand why you should be an entrepreneur, right? So what you'll find is that people expect you to go down a certain path in life, and being an entrepreneur means you're going to take a different path, all right? So one of the key messages in this book is that if you're going to become an entrepreneur, you have to expect that you're going to strike out and be different, all right? if you have to live within the group or have to be accepted by the social majority, you can't become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, by definition, are social misfits. Okay, we live outside the norm. Very successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of the successful entrepreneurs that I've met and I know and I'm friends with are a little bit weird. The more successful they are, the weirder they become. So don't worry. You, me, we're all weird, right? Just accept that. That's part of being an entrepreneur. Don't listen to the voices of normality. That's a key lesson, right? So who is this aimed at today? Who is the $100 startup aimed at? It's aimed at people who want to build a business on their terms. They don't want to build a business, borrow lots of money, get lots of investors, and end up working for somebody else. They want a business that gives them choice, because business is about choice. It's about adventure. So these are aimed at people who want to take that life course, and they don't want to go out and do the business school thing. They don't want to go out and do the Silicon Valley thing. These are lifestyle entrepreneurs. That's you and me. That's why we're here today. So I want to teach you a little bit about what lifestyle entrepreneurship is and why, if it's in your blood, it's a much better course for you to take than the alternative, much more modern narrative, which is, start a business, find an idea for an app, raise lots of money, scale really fast, sell the business. That's not the kind of business that you and I want to build. We want to be successful, but the goal of our business and the goal of the $100 startup is not to sell the business. The goal is to keep playing the game. All right? That's the reward. We keep playing the game because we love this thing. So let's have a look at the key lessons, the 3 lessons from the $100 startup. Now is the time. And I think this is really important because if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be a person of action. You can't be waiting for the perfect time to launch a business. So if you have an idea, stop worrying about plans. Less writing plans, more action. Because the good news is you can make money and do what you love doing this kind of business, right? You can do this. You just need a way of doing this. And this is what the $100 startup teaches you, how to build that kind of business. All right. So the risk, let's talk about what the risk is in doing all of this. The risk is this cubicle life, man. The cubicle life. This is the risk. People say starting a business is risky. I've met this so many times. People say entrepreneurship is risky. But the biggest risk really isn't the biggest risk is having a career, and working your life in a career and regretting not ever testing yourself or measuring yourself or putting yourself out there, because that's what entrepreneurship is about, the adventure, putting yourself out there and really testing yourself. You don't get that in a salaried job. People say, yeah, no, I work really hard. But here's the difference between a salaried worker and an entrepreneur. If a salaried worker screws up, they still get paid, right? If I screw up or you screw up, we don't get paid. That's the difference. That's real risk. But that's the real test of being an entrepreneur. And the risk is not ever having the opportunity to test yourself. That's what people don't understand. If you have to explain to somebody why they should be doing this, then you're talking to the wrong guy. So, key lesson from the $100 startup. Not to get stuck on thinking and planning. What I mean by that, there's 2 mistakes that entrepreneurs make, which I want to share with you, take away today. The first one being is you think too much about where the money's coming from. And the second one is a demonstration. The first one is think too much about where to get the money to start a business. And the second one is about where the money's going to come from. One thing you're going to learn today in the $100 startup is to think less about money and more about value. And I want to share with you what value is, because if you focus on creating value rather than revenue, then what you'll do is you'll create a business that is sustainable long term. So I want to share with you what value is in a minute. But the key message from the $100 startup is this, is launch fast. I know you guys are thinking about your businesses, building your business, there's one lesson I want to share with you tonight, and it's this, is that forget about planning. Stop planning. Start launching, because everything that you write in your plan will change when you launch. So less planning, more launching. This book will give you the confidence to launch fast, because every week that you spend planning, you double the risk of your business.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So let's talk about lesson 2. And this is what I really want to get to, is value. What is this all about? Value. And why do we entrepreneurs need to focus on value? Because value really is about this, freedom. The goal of building a $100 startup, or the goal of building a lifestyle business, or as Chris Guillebeau calls it, a micro business, is freedom. You know, you can have a really successful business in traditional sense, but have no freedom. And I had that. I had a business with 35 people on board. I had 3 offices, 2 offices in India, 1 office in London. And you know what I learned? Is that we were really successful, but I didn't have any freedom. I worked harder than everybody else. I was working 70 hours plus a week. That's not freedom. What was the point of building that business? Why did I start it? So how do you get freedom? How do you get that kind of choice from a lifestyle business? What is this?
This is a
The personal freedom that you get from a business will come from the pursuit, so the quest for value for other people. So if you create value for other people, you will have freedom within your business. So let me explain. Let's say I am starting a photography tour business, as an example, right? I'm a photographer and I want to start a photography tour business, right? Now, I know there's lots of people out there really passionate about photography. So what's the value that I can create? The value that I can create for those people is to help them enjoy their passion. You know, I can teach them about photography. You know, I can do all those kind of things, how to get the most out of the cameras, how to, you know, choose focal lengths, you know, camera shots, composition, all those kind of things, right? How to do, you know, people photography, wildlife photography, scene photography. I can do all of that. That's real value, because those people love it. You know, if you talk that to somebody who's a photography enthusiast, they will love it. So that's real value. They're solving a problem. You know, they buy an expensive camera. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to take a portrait photograph, or they don't know how to take a scene photograph when they go to a beautiful place like India, for example. But delivering value means being able to show people how to do that. You know, solve a problem that they have. It's a really basic problem, but show them how to use that camera. The freedom part is this. You know, if I can create that value for those people, does it matter that I don't have a 24-hour customer service line? Does it matter that I'm using a Gmail account? Not really. Because if I can deliver value to the customer, real value, then I don't need all the things that are going to tie me down. I don't need an office. I don't need a secretary. It can just be me. I can do this. I don't need to be on call. I don't need to give out people my phone number. That's freedom. So the point here, and the key message for the $100 startup, is the more value, real value you create for your customers, the more freedom you can have. And think about it, what value is, because the more value you can create, the more you can help other people, the more you're always going to have work. So let's talk a little bit about what value really is. And it's this, it's something really basic, solving an everyday problem. So one of the problems that we entrepreneurs have is we look around and we see Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, we see Uber, we see billion-dollar enterprises, and that's what people talk about. They talk about these massive billion-dollar enterprises, those startups that became mega corporations. And we think that to be successful, we have to change the world. But the reality is you don't. You don't. In the $100 startup, what it teaches us is that you don't need to be successful. You don't need to change the world to be successful. Stop thinking like that. Start thinking about solving everyday problems. So an everyday problem is this guy doesn't know how to use his camera. I can show him because I'm a photographer. I know how to get the best out of that camera, and I can teach him how to do that. That's an everyday problem. I'm not changing the world, but I'm helping that guy realize his passions and his dreams, and that's what it's about. That's real value. So a key takeaway from today that I want you to think about in your business is this: focus on usefulness, not innovation. Don't get caught up in the innovation thing. How can I create this app that's really innovative? No. Instead, think about creating an app that's just useful, solving an everyday problem. So in your business, think about that. What is the problem that my customers have every day, and how am I solving it? Okay. So like I think about my business, my business Upschool, I'm not being really innovative. I'm using new platforms like YouTube Live, which is probably what nobody else is using very much in this sphere, right?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
What's the everyday problem? Entrepreneurs want to grow their business and they have many challenges. There's so much information out there. They want people to help them. That's just a basic problem. I'm being useful to you. Hopefully this presentation is useful to you, right? So my goal is to be useful to you by sharing you information. I don't want to be innovative. I don't need to give you this presentation on an app. I don't need to give you this presentation in some funky website. I don't need to do that. I just need to be useful to you. And that's the key. Think about that when it comes to building your business. You don't need to change the world to be successful. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up for having an idea which somebody else has, or having an idea which doesn't get people really excited. You don't need to do that. And that's what the $100 startup teaches us, and that's what I believe. You can be really successful. Focus on everyday problems. So the last lesson that I want to share with you today is this, and this is the most important thing, and this is where most entrepreneurs fail.
This is a demonstration.
I don't want to see you make this mistake. Okay? I want to impress upon you. I don't want to press you. I want to press upon you the need to do this next thing. Hustle. If you want to become successful, you've got to focus on solving everyday problems. But more than that, you have to hustle. So you got to get out there. Now, a big problem, if you're an app developer, probably you're surrounded by app developers who don't hustle, and that's why they fail. What I want you to do, if you're an app developer, what I want you to do is get out, talk to people, show people your app, ask for feedback, get people to use your app, take them to Starbucks for a coffee, sit down with them and say, hey, show me how you use the app. I want to see you how you use this app in reality. I don't want to think of it through internet data. I want to see it happening right here, right now, over a cup of coffee. If you're a photographer thinking about starting photography tours, what I want you to do is go to photography meetups and talk to people. Find out what kind of problems that they have. If you're launching a business-to-business consultancy, you're selling some kind of services to business, what I want you to do is go and talk to your existing customers or potential customers and say, hey, let's go out for lunch, let's go out for a drink, let's go out for coffee. I want to talk to you about something that may be really useful for your business. Just want a coffee with you. I want to learn about your business. Go to their office, get into their environment. That is hustle. Get out from behind the desk.
This is a demonstration.
All right? That's the big lesson from today. That's what we can learn from the $100 startup. Get out from behind the desk. It feels uncomfortable, but it's exactly what you need to do. It's so easy to get trapped in a comfort zone. What is a comfort zone, right? This is, Chris Guillebeau traveled to 193 countries in the world, and he learned so much from that experience because he was out of his comfort zone every single day, outside his comfort zone. New country, new language, new alphabets, new people, new cultures, new ways of doing business, outside the comfort zone. You don't need to do that. But here's the comfort zone: sitting behind your desk, or doing the same thing every day, or meeting the same people every day. Get out. Change that. Go to meetup. Start a mastermind. Take people to Starbucks, as I say. Go and see people use your app. Whatever it is. Get outside your comfort zone. Because good things happen to those who hustle. Every single startup book today, like for example, I can't get this book out from the bookshelf, the Lean Startup or the $100 Startup or the Startup Playbook, the Startup Handbook, Startup Owner's Manual. All these books, they all say hustle, hustle, hustle. Get out there. Doesn't matter if you're developing an app or photography courses or you're selling B2B services. Get out there and hustle, because that is the difference between success and failure. Hustle. If you came to me and wanted investment, the first thing I look at is that guy, can he or she hustle? If they can't hustle, there's no way I want to be involved in that business. It's a waste of time. So think about this rule. Your time, 20% creation, 80% hustle. Spend 20% of your time making your thing, your product, and 80% of your time hustling it, getting out there. You know the numbers. You go and do this. So get outside, stretch your boundaries, and hustle. And here's where it comes down to. This is kind of the lesson, one of the key lessons for the $100 startup is this. Your comfort zone and where the magic happens. If you can step outside your comfort zone, you will discover the magic. And that's the real adventure of business. So, what do you think? That was 27 minutes. I really rushed through this. Have you read this book already? If you on one of my courses and you've seen my book review, you're really interested to know what you think of this book and what you think of the kind of lessons from this book. Does this book work for you? If you're not choosing the Silicon Valley model of building your business, what kind of lessons do you think that you got from this book? Be really interested to hear from you. Use the chat box if you want to ask me questions about anything that we talked about tonight, today, wherever it is you are in the world. If you have questions about the $100 startup, anything that I've discussed in this presentation today, and or anything about building your business, feel free to pop it in the live chat box, which is on the right hand side of the video here. Be really interested to hear your feedback and your experience of starting a business, and also the things that we talked about today. So quick review. Those 3 lessons, you think about it. Start now, create value, and hustle. It's real basic, but sometimes the basic things are the hardest things to do because, we entrepreneurs get caught by the shiny thing syndrome. We chase new ideas or chase new projects. But if you just go out there and create value and go and get into the world of your customers and get outside your comfort zone, you will see so many things that you would never see from behind the computer screen. And that's what it's about. That's where the reward is for us entrepreneurs, us lifestyle entrepreneurs, because most entrepreneurs don't want to do that. Most entrepreneurs want to stay in their little worlds inside their office or behind their computer screen. So the rewards for going out and doing that are huge. I've seen this. Before I came to Japan, and also last summer, I spent quite a bit of time traveling. I left London, I went to Spain, I went to Czech Republic, went to Budapest, Oslo, Sweden. Where else did I go? Then I went to Dubai, then I went to Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Bali, Vietnam, and then on to Japan. And every stop that I went, the reason why I went there was to interact with entrepreneurs in each of these cities. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to see what people were doing. And I wanted to sort of, step outside my normality of what business life was. So there I was with a suitcase, and I was going to places, I was living out of a suitcase. I was going to places like Chiang Mai in Thailand, and I was seeing people do things in business that I'd never seen before. There's guys in Chiang Mai who you'd never heard of in the north of Thailand somewhere. These are guys from America and from Europe, and they were drop shipping furniture from China to West Coast California without touching the product. They were selling to American consumers, but living in Chiang Mai or Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And you can only see this kind of world if you step outside your comfort zone. It really expands your mind. You think, wow, I never thought that this was possible. But once you step outside your comfort zone, wow, that's where the magic happens, as we've seen, right? But you've got to be prepared. You don't need to travel the world. You can do that in your own city. Go to meetups. As I said, get outside of the routine of normality. Invest time this week in stepping outside of your comfort zone. If you want to do that, let me know. Let me know in the comments, whether you're on the email newsletter. I know some of you like emailing me. Keep me updated in your progress. I love it. If you step outside your comfort zone this week, be really interested to know, what kind of things that you saw that you wouldn't have seen if you sat behind the computer screen, right? Email me, or you can message me. If you're on the course, you can also leave a comment in any of the course videos there. So I look forward to hearing from you. Leave me your comment. Update me on your outside the comfort zone progress this week. So I've launched this new course, the Entrepreneur Upgrade. You can go and check it out on upschool.io. 16 weeks of lessons to help you grow as an investor, as an entrepreneur. You can use this code here if you're not a course member already, YouTube 47, which will give you $100 off. You can get the course for just $47. I've downloaded 20 years of my experience into this course. It's there for you. One lesson a week, teach you how to become a better entrepreneur, teach you about marketing, how to build your brand, teach you how to become a better investor. It's all there. One lesson a week. Everything I know about business into a 16-week course. It's all there for $47 for you. So jump on board. That coupon lasts for the next 48 hours. So once it's gone, it's gone. It goes back up to $147. I'm only sharing that with you today because you're here with me today. You come here, lend your support. You've come along to watch this video. So I really appreciate that. So here's my payback for you. YouTube 47, go and check out the Entrepreneur Upgrade. Go to upschool.io. On the top right hand side, you'll see a link to the Entrepreneur Upgrade. Go and check out the course content. If you like it, go and sign up for it. If you don't like it, you get your money back. How about that? What have you got to lose? 100% guaranteed. No questions answered. If you don't want to do the course, you paid for it, I will give you your money back. So, all right, cool. Let's answer some questions just whilst we're here. And then I'll tell you how you can get the download for this presentation. All right, how about that? So, you stuck around to the end. I'm really appreciative of that. Okay, so first question, Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Graham, if my business is 100% online business, why do I need to go out and hustle? That's a great question, because that's the situation that a lot of app developers get themselves into. Let me answer that. Through my experience, why do I need to go out and hustle? Well, you have customers, and there's more reason, there's more motivation for you to go out and hustle if you're online. And let me explain. If you're a retail business, and a classic example is the Apple store, right? Apple selling iPhones and Macs and so on. The reason why Apple has been so successful is because 63% of Apple's employees work for the Apple store, right? So Apple, in theory, Apple is a retailer because most of its employees work in retail, right? So that basically means that Apple is producing electronic goods, but what it knows is every single person in that business, or 63% of them, is at the front line of the business. They see how people interact with their products. They have people bringing in the iPhones, people bringing in their Macs, people bringing in iPads into the store, whether it's an old granny or a young student. They really get to see them and understand how they use these products, and they can empathize with them. They understand the language they use. They understand what doesn't work and so on. They feed all that information back to the enterprise, right? So for an offline business, actually, they need to hustle less because the information is there. They're seeing it every day, right? By contrast, if you're an online business, you don't get that. You might get data, but, what we really want is stories. We want to know empathy. I want to understand, for example, that the guy behind these numbers, I want to understand that he has a family, and he moved to this country so many years ago, and he's now building a business, or he's on this new project, and he's thinking about creating this content and so on. I want to know all that stuff. I can't see that stuff until I meet him, talk to him, live in his world a little bit. So I think to answer your question, Eric, a long way around to answer that question, if you're online, you have to hustle more. You have to get out. And what I mean by hustle is see. Go and see. So there's a great phrase by the Toyota. I'm here in Japan, so I learn a lot about Toyota management. But if you learn about the lean startup, there's a lot of influence in manufacturing in the lean startup. Well, one of the things they talk about is the Toyota way. Toyota is the most profitable car company in the world. And one of the reasons why it became profitable is it had a philosophy of go and see. They called it Genchi Genbutsu, which basically means go and see. They made all their managers go and see. So, for example, an example of this is when Toyota launched a new product, a new car into America, rather than go through the showrooms, one of the things they did, this was the Toyota Sienna. What the managers did is they went on a 50,000 mile road trip in the car. So these managers got in the car, drove around America 50,000 miles, visiting different places, talking to people. That's hustling, going and seeing. Another example of that is Lego. So Lego, obviously one of the most successful brands in the world today, if not the most profitable, biggest toy brand in the world. Lego 15 years ago was nearly going bankrupt, but the new CEO came into Lego, and the first thing he did was say to the engineers and to the managers, I want you to go out and I want you to go to the events. I want you to talk to Lego fans. I want you to go to the Lego cons, the brick cons. I want you to meet everybody, talk to them, and see what Lego people are doing with Lego. So he sent all the managers out there, and they, for the first time, these people who had worked for Lego for like 20, 30 years, for the first time, they saw real people using Lego. And they thought, wow, I never thought of it like that. So they saw adults using Lego, and that was the birth of Lego Technica, which is like these $1,000, Lego sets, which you may have seen. So these were not for kids. These were for adults, right? And they saw, for the first time, they saw what they called adult fans of Lego, AFOL, AFOL. They saw adult fans of Lego. For the first time, these managers understood that these were the customers. These are the people they should be targeting. So that's hustle, getting out. So let's say, for example, you have a product, Eric, or you're creating some kind of content. Your hustle could be going out, talking to people, going to events. Especially, if you work for yourself or you're an individual entrepreneur, it's easy to become isolated. And so your world view starts to become narrower and narrower. So it's so easy to fall into that comfort trap. Get out there. I know it's uncomfortable. It's not what you're used to. Get out there. Go to events. Talk to people. Start a podcast. Write a blog. Hustle. There's many different ways of hustling, but just get yourself out there and do that. And I think, being online means we have to do twice or three times as much hustle as the guys that have it all for the, ready in front of them, the offline businesses. Hopefully that answers your question. I don't know if it did. Not sure, if that's kind of the angle that you're expecting, or that's what you're doing with your online businesses. But I know, like me, I'm an older entrepreneur. Us older entrepreneurs, I think, have to, place a special emphasis on hustle, because we become stuck in habits, right? So we've got to get out there, go to those events, right, and meet people. And the inspiration can come in the taxi on the way back from the event. That's where the idea comes, right? Not necessarily, I think trying to find that idea looking at the computer screen, it doesn't work. Going out there, going to an event, hearing people talking about my idea back to me, getting in the taxi, coming home, and it's boom. That's where it happens. That's the hustle. That's the magic of it. Outside the comfort zone. Cheers. Hopefully that answers your question. Hey guys, YouTube Live, what did you think of this platform? Apart from that silly Wirecast thing that keeps popping up once in a while, did you like it? Did you like this platform? It'd be good to hear some feedback on it because, if you like it, well, let's do it again. Let's do it every week. I'll be here every week sharing with you. This is my hustle, man. Sharing with you ideas. I want to help you. I want to be useful, help you grow your business. So, let's come together every week and let's do it together. So if you like YouTube Live, a thumbs up for YouTube Live. Let's do it again. All right, so just finishing up then. Last slide today. Here's a link. How you can get the presentation from today. I want you to take away the presentation because, you can review the notes. What I'll do is I'll pop that in the chat box now as I just type this in here. And
this is a
as I'm
demonstration
typing
of
away,
Wirecast.
thank you so much for your comments. Excellent. Very good. That was cool. I enjoyed that. There's the link in the chat box on the right hand side. Cool. Guys, really enjoyed it. This is going to be recorded, so what will happen is if you want to come back and look at the video and review it, it's there for you on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, then what are you doing here? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, damn it. My God, you want to get angry? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I tell you what, every time I put a new live event out there, what I'll do before the event is I'll put a calendar note in and you'll get a nice friendly email reminder just to let you know it's there so you can put it in your diary and so on. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. And guys, let me just flip this over. I'm getting used to this format. Bear with me a second. There we go. We're back. We made it. We made it through 40 minutes without a complete screw up. So that's my first time with YouTube Live. And hopefully, if this is the first time for you in YouTube Live, I bet you're going to see more of this stuff in the future. I think you're going to see less people using webinar platforms and more people using this because it's so much better at the end of the day. We all know how to use YouTube, right? We don't have to log in. We don't have to mess around with downloading software. All that kind of thing is there. Plus the video's there for you to go back and review at any time you want. Guys, thank you so much for your participation today. Really enjoyed having you today. Really enjoyed your questions and your feedback. It means a lot to me because I'll be back next week. Something new. Don't stop there. Keep the momentum going. I will see you next week, next Wednesday, same time. And I will share with you on this channel. I'll put in the live event. So if you're subscribed, you'll get a reminder, as I said. See you next time, guys. Looking forward to seeing you there. I'm going to flip